This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 8th year of talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey everybody, oh yeah, it's the Ramble, and I'm Alex, and we go until midnight tonight from New York, New York. The city's so nice, they named it 3 times. I don't know. Hey, how are you? Good to see you. It's Wednesday, okay? Here we are. Here we go. And every other Wednesday, we put this guy on. Hold on a second. Let me just admit him and get him on here and get the Zoom panel going here. And there, what is that picture you got there? Where did you get that?
That's the AI Trump arrest.
The AI Trump arrest. I see. Okay.
Yeah, somebody here. Let me move out of the way here. So this is the police taking Trump into custody.
You couldn't wait like 10 minutes to get into this, right?
Well, yeah, I'll wait, but I brought help.
Oh, okay. All right, fine. Actually, he wants that to happen. He wants wants to actually be hauled away in cuffs, he says, and he's going to have a professional film crew there videotaping it.
He's collected $1.5 million. I'll get that off. He's collected $1.5 million so far since he's announced that he was going to be arrested.
Well, you know something? That's really a bunch of stupid people, because what they're doing is they're giving money to a supposed billionaire.
Yeah. No, I know.
What is that? What is that?
Well, Tony's been calling me on a regular basis. Every morning, he's talking to me like he's talking about your friend Shecky and how he's grieving, and so and he's always going to the graveyard to visit his parents. So I called him now Tony the Undertaker Magno. And, we've given him a nickname. He's the Undertaker. But do you notice that his parents, both his mother and his father, have the name on the gravestone?
Of course.
Yeah.
You always leave a space for the wife or the husband, whoever,
Does that mean that you can't use?
Well,
yours?
unfortunately, my mother wasn't thoughtful enough to say, "Hey, let's build a tombstone where there's space for my name." I guess she didn't figure she was ever going to die, so she didn't put it on.
So it's her fault.
So it's one little tombstone that's on my father's grave, and then she was expecting me, I guess, to put a tombstone on her grave. But normally the tradition is that you put a tombstone on both, one tombstone to cover both graves. So,
right.
Yeah. And then if I wanted to be buried there, they kind of wedge me in sideways between them,
My dad's grave site, they only allow like a plaque that's flat on the ground.
Was it a military site or something?
No.
Well, I guess some tombstones, some cemeteries require that. Okay.
Yeah.
Because they don't want anybody. I went out to one when my friend Jack Garfine got buried. Mm-hmm. It was out in a cemetery where there were Russians buried as well, and they have these huge tombstones with the photographs of the people on them.
You know why?
Etched or drawn into the stone.
You know why?
Why?
Well, their names are so long, they need those big mausoleums just to fit them.
I guess. But no, and they're tasteless. They're really tasteless. I would never,
Well,
I'm wondering, I really should get around to putting a tombstone on my mother's grave, but, I've talked to a lot of people who say they never got around to putting tombstones on their parents' graves.
Yeah.
Because, when she died, I didn't feel sad. She was 100 years old.
Yeah.
Am I
Do you have the site next to her, or
No.
you haven't prepared
no.
for it?
Marjorie's planning on having me cremated, whether I want to or not.
Now people tell me the Jews aren't supposed to be cremated, but
I never heard that one.
yeah, well, maybe it was from Orthodox that told me that.
Well,
But,
I would think Orthodox, yeah.
Yeah, I want to be cremated. I visited my father's grave once, and he's been dead since '72.
Yeah, I've gone to my father's grave maybe twice. Once because my mother was buried there. So
Yeah.
yeah. You never go out there. I mean, it is true. I mean, I don't know if I want to be turned into a crispy critter, however, because you never know. You make it to heaven and they go, hey, there is a heaven. And I'm sorry to tell you, but
you don't qualify.
You got to come in with all your parts.
Well, and that's what Tony asked me questions like that. He says, is there an afterlife? Do you come back as something else? And I said, no, Tony, you're dead. You're dead, and it's over.
Yes, Tony, you're going to come back as your mother.
Kvetching.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
So, I meant to ask you, how did that blood test go? Did you ever get results?
Oh, I'm glad you asked about that. Let me just tell you what has happened. Here it is. It's almost, as of Friday, it will be 4 weeks. It'll be a whole month, a solid month. Okay. Yeah. It was the 24th of February. To date, I have not heard a word from the doctor. All right.
Yeah.
But let me add a few little facts here.
Okay.
I checked with Medicare, went on to my Medicare to see if they had at least put in for it yet. Not only have they put in for it, are you ready for this? I spent a total of an hour there.
Right. How much?
I got two bad needle things, in my arm.
They drew the blood,
and then one that actually worked. And you would think if they were they are named the Cancer in Blood something or another, all right? Because I don't want to name the company. You would think that if blood was in their name, blood would be a specialty, right? And wouldn't be part of that specialty being able to get the blood out of you in some kind of semblance of order, right? No way. Took them forever to get the blood out of me. Anyway, I then spend a short time with a woman who's filling out all the stuff I probably could have filled out beforehand if they had put their intake thing online. And then the doctor came in, checked me under the throat, checked me in the groin, found a slightly enlarged lymph node in my groin, but that could be from any number of things. And he said, well, we'll get to you back to you with the blood test. And they drew 5 vials of blood. I guess 4 for them and 1 for a vampire somewhere. I don't know. So, okay. So this took they put it down as 45 to 59 minutes. Okay?
All right.
How much do you think the bill was?
$600.
Oh, come on. That's what Medicare paid after they were through not letting them get away with what they wanted to get.
Yeah. What'd they ask for?
Over $5,000.
Wow.
Are you ready for that? Over $5,000. The Medicare, of course, said that's only worth about $1,200.
Yeah.
So I checked, and they had already sent the check out to them. I mean, the 3rd of February, they had sent Medicare had gotten the what do you call it,
the payment,
yeah. The request for payment. The rest of it, which is my ARP insurance, which they pay everything. I went over there, and they had already paid that too, another $190.
Isn't ARF that thing for
ARP,
dog?
ARP.
ARP. Oh.
The nerve of these people to, number one, charge that much. By the way, $500 charge for intake, original, first time intake. What do you mean? I shouldn't go to I have to go to a doctor for the first time, right? Why are you charging me $500 for it? Now, I'm not mad at it because Medicare paid for it and then my insurance company paid for the rest. I'm not paying anything, so I can't really be pissed, but I am. And I am pissed because they're ripping my government off for money.
Yeah, they're ripping everybody off because everybody contributes to Medicare.
Yeah.
Or your employers do.
Yeah, but I mean, and then I don't hear from them. He said I'd hear from them next week. I'll call you next week and call you on Monday and let you know. And I thought maybe it was taking a long time for certain blood tests to come back. He did all the blood tests on site. He's able to do all the blood tests right on site. So really, they were finished by 20 minutes after I left.
Well, since they shorted them $4,500, maybe they felt that part telling you what it was all about, what they didn't get compensated for. So, screw you.
Well, I mean, you got to admit that's pretty shoddy.
Yeah.
That's pretty shoddy. I mean, even if they were to call me tomorrow, that's too late.
Yeah.
And they've got him. Probably what happened is the stuff came back. He looked at it, said nothing really bad here. I noticed my platelets were low. They had gotten that already. But he probably didn't notice anything, and just it didn't occur to him to call.
I even call people at the end of a carpet installation. And
I know you do because you're a good carpet installer. Okay,
Right.
But I mean, I just can't believe it. And the gall to charge $5,000. I know why they do it because they know they're only going to get $1,200, and then the difference they take off on their taxes.
Really?
Sure, they say. We
bad debt.
Well, not a bad debt, but that
Yeah.
we didn't get the full amount, so therefore the difference is we can take it off on our taxes. So.
That sounds like the kind of tax manipulation that you accuse Donald Trump of.
Well, not the same. No porno star screwed my doctor, but
how do you know?
But I mean, the nerve, the nerve of it. I mean, that was really what bothered me, and I can't figure out why. I mean, I'm sure the reason I haven't heard from him is there was nothing in there. I'm sure if there was something in there that was drastic, I'd get a call.
Maybe
either that or if I dropped dead because he didn't tell me what was wrong with me.
You'll never know.
Marjorie has a great action against them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, you guys haven't learned your lesson from suing landlords for tenancy. I tell you
I didn't sue my landlord.
I know, but you paid to defend yourself, and it just really goes to the end result, which is never get involved with attorneys. There are reasons that I don't like attorneys. Even in California, there's a thing, these people that support the Second Amendment, and then there's the California government. And every time the Second Amendment supporters win something in court, then California just uses the people's money to stay it, to fight it, to appeal it. And, who's paying for that? The same people.
Well,
that are
in my case, I'd be all for it. So the money would be my money being put to good use is how I would look at it.
Yeah. Well, let's see what else is going on here.
But anyway, so that really pissed me off. Yeah, I mean, really, the colossal gall of these people to do that. I mean, come on. And then everybody I asked, they said, "Oh, this guy's supposed to be a good doctor,
Yeah.
But you couldn't prove it by me,
Have you called to find out what the status is?
No, I don't want to. And I'll tell you why.
They'll bill.
It's principle. No, it's the principle of it all. That it's his job to call me, not mine to call him.
Well, gee, that Alex Bennett, he could have been saved, but he didn't want to call.
I'm sure that
find out that
any court,
2 aspirins and he would have lived.
Any court that is hearing the suit between Marjorie Miller and Dr. X will say it wasn't Alex's job to call. He just could all you assume is that it was okay. That's why he didn't call me, right?
Well, you know what happens when you assume?
Well, I'm saying, forget about that. I mean, am I right? Come on.
Well, I would make the guy answer the phone and give you the information.
No, I don't want.
And I'd ask him, hey, how come you haven't called me? You got paid a month ago.
Well, I had a guy, 2 guys actually at Sirius XM when I was let go.
Yeah.
On the last day I was there, they said, "Well, get a hold of us in a couple of weeks, and we'll get together and we'll have lunch." All right. So after a couple of weeks, I wrote them and I said, "Okay, let's go have lunch." And they said, "Well, we'll get back to you." All right. No, wait a minute. I've never heard from them. And
I know.
I've often thought about writing them a note saying, "Dear so and so, how are you doing? By the way, don't bother. I've already eaten."
Well, I was going to mention that you do something on that tack. Have lunch, get a receipt, send them the receipt and say, sorry you missed it, but you can send the check to this address.
Yeah, exactly. So, what the hell,
Yeah.
Where's my, oh, there it is. Okay. I was just looking for something. Anyway, you had something else you wanted to bring up?
Well, I wanted to ask you this Trump thing.
No, God, I knew you'd
so the grand jury was told not to go out today. Do you think that they're avoiding this to stop protests, or
No.
does Bragg really doesn't have a case and is reconsidering?
I think it's quite the opposite.
You don't think the grand jury, he's having a hard time convincing the grand jury to bring charges?
No, I think he isn't doing it because Trump said they're going to arrest me on Tuesday, and he just wants to make Trump look bad.
Nah.
Yeah. I mean, why? There's no rush here. He can do it next week, can't he?
Well,
there's no rush.
I was going to loan you guys a set of cuffs here.
Yeah, but I mean, he wants to get arrested. He thinks it's going to help him. I don't think it is, to be honest with you.
Yeah. No,
And by the way, all you Trump fans, send your money to him because he's only a billionaire, and if he had more money than that, maybe you might not want to send him money. But a billionaire, God, he barely can afford this.
I'm sorry, Alex. You forgot this is Gabnet. There are no Trump fans. There are no Trump fans listening to this.
Yeah.
But
no, but I'm saying that I mean, I think they just waited and just said, he says we're going to arrest him on Tuesday. We're not going to arrest him on Tuesday. We're going to make him wave in the wind and make people go, well, I thought you said it was going to. But remember, folks, he's always been a liar. Okay, so.
Well, yeah. Now you're talking to the choir. So let's see.
I don't hear them singing.
Yeah. What's this DNA that they unlocked from Beethoven's hair?
I didn't know about that.
Oh yeah. Let's see. I'll press on that. So a DNA from Beethoven's hair unlocks family secret. I got to subscribe to the Wall Street Journal to find out.
Oh, okay. So don't wave us in the wind.
Oh, here
like
it is.
that.
It came up. Oh, then it just got covered up again.
Yeah.
I am so tired of being nickel and dimed by the
but you
internet.
went to Drudge, right? That's where you found it.
Yeah.
Right, and then Drudge Drudge is nothing but links. Okay.
Yeah.
And which is not terrible, except for the fact that Drudge is biased in his links. Okay. But the point that I'm going to make here is that, the fact that these are links, they should be links that are open, that people can get to without having to pay for them.
Right. And there's paywalls on everything now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I want to use the elevator in my apartment. I got to pay. No, it feels like that.
Yeah.
Everything's a subscription. Everything you got to pay for, and I'm just so tired of being subscriptioned to death. And so I've gotten past that. What is this thing that Cuba is mad about the treatment of their ball players in the World Baseball Classic? So do they get mistreated? It looks like it was.
What
in
do you
Miami.
mean in the World Baseball?
If I press on it, I'll probably have to pay.
Yeah, you probably have to pay for it. Don't go looking there and trying to find stories. If you found them ahead of time, printed them out, read them to me, okay. But
Who's got that kind of time?
Well, then don't try to pull it out from there, because it's taking you forever to find it and read it and find out what it's about. So what's all this about Beethoven's hair? Well, I don't know.
Okay, I didn't know either. I figured you have all day to watch and learn stuff.
I don't go to Drudge.
Well, Drudge just gives you a few interesting things. Lately, I stopped listening to Sirius Satellite because my subscription was up and I refused to renew it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been listening to Pandora, and I just discovered that my car radio has iHeart in it.
Yeah, but guess who owns Pandora?
It's
Sirius XM.
Sirius, yeah.
So
Yeah, well, they got my $5 a month for commercial free.
Yeah.
And so iHeart. So I look at it, I press the button, and I say, "Oh, iHeart, what is this?" And I was listening to WOR radio in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a right-wing station? Sure sounded like it.
Well, it's I can't say that iHeart has politics, okay?
Yeah.
But the people they put on certainly are, and I don't know why, but it's been a thing they've been doing in radio for the longest time. They feel the only people that listen to radio are people
right-wingers.
Right-wingers, yeah. Because they defined years ago somebody who was I think it was Cap Cities, was it, or something, that owned it before that, and then it became iHeartRadio. And he said to my general manager at the station I was at, he said, "I don't know what you got this guy on your radio station for, because talk radio is conservative talk." So I went, is really?
Well, he might have a point there. What left-wing stations have really survived? I mean, what's his name? Who was the vice president that invented the internet? Al Gore. Al Gore had a TV station, right? That was left-wing, and that failed miserably. Almost.
I don't think it was established as left-wing. However, it was established as trying to be somewhat non-political. In other words, having
Al Gore's non-political.
It was a very interesting channel, if I remember correctly. It wasn't a question of politics. It was a question that they had people do documentaries for it who had interesting points of view and so on and so forth, and they were original works. And there's a lot of good stuff on there. I saw a lot of good stuff on there, and it wasn't necessarily right-wing or left-wing. It was just very
Is any of that stuff on YouTube?
No, I don't think so.
No. None of the content?
No. I mean, that's kind of what YouTube has become. I mean, YouTube's pretty non-political, if you think about it.
YouTube seems to cater to whatever you look for. So, for instance, I look at shooting skills, or I look at dietary stuff.
And then it starts coming up, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the algorithms that do that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of amazing.
Oh, now, my medical moment here. I just got some stuff called benfotiamine. Now, benfotiamine is a lab-made version of vitamin B1, and what it's supposed to do is once you ingest it, it goes to work much better than thiamine. But it's for diabetes, nerve damage, Alzheimer's, memory loss issues,
Where do I
and so forth. And that guy I listened to on the internet,
I'm looking for something here. Hold on a second. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Andrew Huberman.
There it is. Okay.
He's the one that was talking about benfotiamine.
Here you go.
If I sent you some, would you take it? Oh, you have the vitamin B.
Yeah, there's my B12.
Yeah, this is B1, B12, and 300 milligrams per pill of benfotiamine, but you take 4 pills a day. And it's good stuff.
Well, you're recommending drugs now.
Yeah, well, at least I'm not selling them.
Yeah. Well, anyway, yeah, I'll take one of these, by the way. It's pretty good for helping my platelets.
Yeah. All right. Well, you were saying that you were having trouble with some memory stuff, and we all are. So when I found out about benfotiamine, I figured I'd try it.
Well, by the way, if people go over to Facebook, we have another episode of Marjorie and Alex Go to the Park.
How many thousands of viewers?
Well, we only did that about 8 hours ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, hold on a second, we have, let me see here, 436 people have
Very
watched
nice.
it, over that, almost 500, because I have some other places I put it up too.
People have said to me that when you had the issue the other night where you couldn't get your guest on for the first half hour, and you sort of just ad-libbed. They said, that's the Alex that we love to hear. I know it's a lot of work, but...
Yeah, that's the Alex that's too lazy to do that now.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, but I guess I did talk for like a half hour. I can do it, but I've just been very lazy lately.
Oh, you know who it was? It was Steve Fox. Who said that, and he said he just really enjoyed, listening to you doing your thing. And,
well, you know who I've been talking to? This will be Brian Neary will know this, and Kevin will know this. Alan won't know this because I don't think he ever listened to me when I was in San Francisco.
No, I don't think he did.
But Chuck Farnham. Remember Chuck Farnham?
Yeah, he was the police guy. What was his name? He had a TV show.
What?
And Chuck.
No.
Chuck.
No. Chuck Farnham.
No, that was Chuck McCann.
Chuck Farnham was my what can we call it? My stunt guy. He would go out, for instance, and do things like smear mustard all over himself, and then have people. Dip pretzels into his skin.
I didn't know him.
Oh, yeah. He's a very popular part of my show. Well, let's bring all these other people in anyway.
Well, that would have meant that I listened to you after Camel.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me see here. Here comes all these people. You guys remember Chuck Farnham, don't you? You remember Chuck, don't you, Kevin?
All over himself, and then have people.
Wait a minute.
Somebody had their.
I didn't know you went to.
What? Wait a minute. Hold on a second. There's Charlie. Where is he? Oh, there he is. And where's Brian Neary now? It says joining, but he's not there.
I was thinking Officer Joe Bolton, or there was somebody else that did like a kid's show.
Joe
that
Bolton was on in New York.
Oh, well, there was somebody else that had a kid's show that you knew. His first name was Chuck
McCann.
Chuck McCann. Okay.
And that was in New York.
Oh, was that in New York? Okay, well, that's where I grew up. So
you can see those B1 pills are really helping, Phil.
Yeah, really. Hey, I'm remembering back to when I was a kid, but I did that especially for you, Alan, so that you would have something to complain about.
No, the only thing I got to complain about is your faint line on your COVID test for the past couple of days, and your thinking that doesn't mean you have COVID.
Well, this morning it was clear.
Yeah, well, these tests are not 100%. The PCR is the way to go. So you'll do what you want. I'm not around you right now, but I will be in a week.
Well,
Hopefully-
I'll remember to cough on you.
and hopefully you'll feel better by then.
Yeah.
There are two people trying to get in as Brian Neary.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Let me get my camera ready.
Brian.
Let me get my camera ready. Let's see here. Brian Neary. Brian Neary. Going once. Going twice.
Got one Brian.
Oh,
Neary.
there is
That's
Brian.
the real
Okay.
Brian Neary.
That is the real Brian Neary. Okay. Were you having trouble getting on or something, Brian? I can't hear you.
Oh, no sound.
And he's not muted.
Let's see.
Hello?
Oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
now we
There
There
we
you
go.
go.
My speaker was muted. So Phil was wrong again.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember Chuck Farnham on my radio show?
Yeah, I keep telling you, that's the guy who wiped stick his hand down his butt crack and shake people's hands.
Yep.
Oh, God.
That
No
was-
wonder I didn't remember.
I would never shake that guy's
That was
hand.
called.
And they had like a,
It was called stink palming.
That's what it was.
and then one time when I was cruising around the internet, I found there was a thing like a reunion of Alex Bennett show people, and they had him and Laurie Thompson was on there and a few more people, and you weren't on there. It's so funny.
Yeah, I know. I heard about that, but I wasn't there. Right.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is great.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
everybody but Alex.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wasn't there a comedian that used to go to the bathroom, take a pee, and then not wash his hands, and then purposely go out and shake people's hands?
Well, here, what happened was we had, let's see here, Chuck stink palmed the mayor's wife's hand,
Yeah.
I think, and
Which mayor?
he stink palmed Don Imus's hand too. Yeah, so
Well,
yeah.
that's okay.
We always got a good laugh out of it because he would come back with a photograph of him shaking hands with these people. You know, but that wasn't the only thing he did. I mean, we had a big fight going on with what's her name? That author does all the bodice rippers.
Anne Rice?
No, she was in
No.
the one in San Francisco.
Yeah,
Um,
you know who I'm talking about.
No,
yeah, I do, but
Well, I kept talking about her stuff
need
as,
one of those B1
as
pills.
being kiddie porn because, like, all her girls were like teenage girls, and they were getting their bodices ripped, as it were. And so I sent Chuck up to her mansion, which is this huge thing. It's the old Spreckles mansion.
Is that on Broadway?
Huge. I can't remember where it is.
Pacific? Yeah.
Something like that, yeah. And he then went to the park that overlooked it with a rubber doll, a big rubber doll, and as I read from her book, he played out the scene. And she then threatened to sue us, which was one of the nicest things that's ever happened. Oh, Danielle Steele, that's who.
Daniel
That's it,
Steele,
yeah.
yeah.
The love story.
And the best thing about the story about Danielle Steele is her chief of security was one of my best friends. In fact, he worked, when he wasn't working for her, as my bodyguard. Okay?
She pays her.
So one night we went out to dinner, and he paid for it with her credit card. Yo!
Ordered dessert. I wish I dessert. They get to go.
Yeah.
How'd you meet Chuck Farnham?
That's fine.
You know, I can't tell you. It may be something weird because he was a pretty weird guy. You know what?
So arm wrestling with the stink bomb.
I'll have to suggest that to him. We haven't talked in 20 years because we haven't talked about it, but we had an out. We fell out with each other. I won't even say over what. But now it's 20 years later, and you know, as you get older, you get more forgiving. You know, and when he got a hold of me, I got a hold of him back, and we've been talking to each other a lot lately. So, you know, I might even give him a show on Gabnet. What the hell, you know? So,
How can he shake somebody's hand though on Gabnet?
well, he won't have to. So,
Does he live in San Francisco?
he lives now in Fallon, Nevada.
Oh,
Mm.
How come all your comedian friends that wound up in Nevada in the middle of nowhere?
No,
Like the only taxes out there, right?
what?
No state tax, right? Nevada or no?
Yeah, no state tax.
There's no
Yeah,
state
that's
tax.
where people go out.
No employment either.
Yeah, but
Unless you're in Las Vegas or Reno,
Yeah,
right?
but he's living in Fallon, and he's got himself he lives with his mother, has a 6,000 square foot home
Wow.
in Fallon.
How can they put that many trailers together?
Well, they managed to do it. So.
Yeah, I just got a hold of a friend that I haven't talked to maybe in like 8 or 9 years, and he says he's in Vegas and he's coming back pretty soon. And yeah, he bought a house in Vegas just to say that's your primary, say his primary, and then he's back here in San Jose. So.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah. But it sounds kind of interesting to me that he's living there, and it seems like he likes it, and it's not treating him badly. So we'll see, So, but anyway, so how are all of you doing? Anybody have anything? Wayne, how are you doing?
Okay, how about you?
I'm fine. It's funny, we don't hear Wayne say much, but he does have the clearest mic of anybody, including mine.
Got a good voice. You should give him a show.
Oh, jeez, no.
Well, anybody who wants a show, you can have it. Charlie, want to do a show?
You get a show. You get a show.
Yeah.
Look under your chair.
Yeah. Brian Neary, you want a show?
No thanks.
Kevin, how about you? You want a show?
For this one.
Tony could do comic show. Brian could do cars.
Talking about my YouTube
Tony Sports.
Yeah.
Sports and my comic talk.
Oh, comic talk. Yeah, there you go.
I'm sorry, we already have a what do you call it? Show?
Sports guy.
Sports guy. Yeah. Let's see if this is in fact Jeff. Okay, if this is Jeff, yes. Let's see here. Is it Jeff? Yes, it is
That's
Jeff.
the real Jeff.
Okay. I have my finger on my button, but everything's fine, so we're cool. So anyway,
See, that's real.
Yeah. So how many of you would agree with me that the reason why they haven't yet indicted Donald Trump is because Donald Trump said they were going to on Tuesday, and they wanted to make him look like an asshole?
I don't think so.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't
How
know.
can you make him look more like an asshole than he already is?
That's true.
But doesn't it suck because it's like the first one that is, this first case is really a non-case. I mean, it's a case, but it's not like the other two.
Well, it's not
And
like
the other two are so much more powerful.
This one is
You mean the
one.
documents?
This is one that is probably not going to come out with. It may come out with a conviction, but it won't come out with a long term, time in jail.
It's a misdemeanor, I understand.
Well, no,
Could be
not
a
this
felony.
one. Not this one. No, it's not.
Yeah, they're not going to go after him for misdemeanor. You're listening to too much conservative radio again.
Yeah. I mean, they could
okay.
charge him with a misdemeanor, but they're not.
The Wahlberg film.
It's also, is it a federal crime that they're trying to?
It's not a federal crime that they're going after him on, but if the feds want to come in and pile in on top of that and say that because he claimed this money, they claim he took this money out of funds for campaigns, for his campaign, then that's illegal by federal law.
Now on Fox, they're saying that Michael Cohen has been discredited because of Michael Cohen's attorney at the time came out and said that he said totally different things to him and to the feds than he is saying to the city. So they're trying to discredit Cohen from.
Well, they can try and discredit him all they want, but there's a certain fact that's immutable here, and that is that he was given $130,000 to pay back the money he gave for Donald Trump to Stormy Daniels. And it doesn't matter whether he went to jail. He admitted that he had done wrong. But what I had heard is that the grand jury, it seems that whatever he said before the grand jury seemed to play pretty well, because it seemed pretty honest and straightforward. It didn't seem to have any massive mistruths in it.
You're saying that's what Michael Cohen said.
They're trying to say it's like a bookkeeping. They're trying to say, it was a mistake.
Yeah, and it's not a bookkeeping mistake. I mean, no, it is not the most serious charge against him. In fact, it's the least serious charge against him. But what it might do is that if it finally does get, he does get charged with it, it will embolden Georgia, and it will embolden the government where the documents are concerned. And they're now finding out there's even more horrible stuff in the document situation, because now it turns out that it has something to do with his lawyers. I'm trying to remember what the problem exactly was, but that he told his lawyers to do stuff which made them lie, which is trying to, play.
They got that on video.
And they have that on video. What is it exactly? Do you know, Kevin? What was it?
Well, I don't know the whole story, but it was something about he told them that he
Wait a
didn't
minute. Hold on a second, Kevin. Kevin, Phil, pay attention to this. Go ahead.
Oh, I was looking for the bombshell that supposedly came down today.
But anyway,
They had all the documents, yet there were still moving documents around, and then he gave them a few more and said that they had them all, and they still didn't have more, and they have it on video that they were continually moving documents, and then he would continually produce more after he said that they had them all. And that's basically the gist of what they're looking at right now.
Yeah. And then you got the other case, which is the federal case against him for the January 6th insurgency.
Right.
Which, so he's got a lot of crap he's got to fight eventually. And I think it will embolden all these other people to go ahead with theirs now, So
That's okay. Phil will still back him because he's a loser. Not Phil.
And that at what point then he cannot run? If he gets put in jail, where's the?
Well, I think he can run, period, if he wants to run. Whether,
if he gets convicted of a federal crime, he can't run for president.
He can't run for president?
Oh, you mean like a felony?
Yeah. Like a federal crime, like a felony. Yeah.
Jeff?
Yeah,
wait a minute, Jeff.
Taken forever.
Remember there was a guy who was the vice president who
Agnew?
quit. Yeah, Agnew. He got himself off and didn't go to prison because he also agreed that he would never try to
run for
the government.
Yeah.
Never run for office again. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's the problem with Trump is he's just, I hate to say this, he's just stupid where crime is concerned.
And everything else.
I mean, he leaves too many openings for people to come after him.
Yeah, but they still can't get him. I won't believe it until I see him in handcuffs and know it's not Photoshop.
I think they're all being very careful, and they're being very careful because they want to be able to, if they're gonna try him, they want to be able to be sure they've got a good case, and they've gotten all the information they have to have. In this case, they probably already have it because it's basically it is a bookkeeping situation, but it's an illegal bookkeeping situation.
It'll be a long time before he's in handcuffs, Brian. If New York indicts him, he'll show up in front of the judge. The judge will read the indictment. He'll go to another part of the courthouse, and they'll release him. The judge will release him with no fine, no.
Well, his fingers are
he's not a flight risk.
His fingers are so fat, they just need to put finger cuffs on him.
This is from the Daily Mail, which is a UK news thing.
Did you subscribe yet, or are you just going to read the headline?
By the way, do you know?
I got it.
Do you know who owns the Daily Mail?
No.
Also, a show at noon too.
Murdoch owns the Daily Mail.
Oh, he's a good American. Smoking gun letter from Michael Cohen claims he was not reimbursed. And that was released 6 hours ago. It's a
Wow.
bombshell document obtained
Wow.
by the Daily Mail could throw a wrench into prosecutors pursuing criminal charges.
Oh, that fixes everything.
Yep. Well, I
Nobody
guess you're right,
believes that
Phil.
but you.
Nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
free.
the Daily Mail was also almost put out of business when they tapped the phones of the royal family.
Oh.
Hey, that's just, good news gathering efforts.
Phil, don't be a moron. Okay, don't act like it.
Phil, what do you think's going to happen? Do you think he's going to get charged for any of these things?
Not a bit.
Phil
If he
doesn't
gets-
believe he's guilty of anything.
Yeah, that's true, but I don't think he's going to get charged. I don't think he's going to do a minute in jail, and he will not be handcuffed. If anything, he might.
He wants them. He wants them to handcuff him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
It's been reported that he's said he wants them to handcuff him because he's
Yeah,
got a
but the
whole
Secret
film
Ser-
crew ready to film this whole thing, the arrest, everything.
Right, Secret Service is going to stop the handcuffing.
And he figures what happens is he turns it into a fundraising event, And what's horrible about that is that these people are just morons for sending him money. They don't have that money to send him, but they send him money anyway. You're sending money to a goddamn alleged billionaire. I don't think he's anywhere close to a billionaire.
Phil, how much of your money went to Stormy Daniels, do you think?
Oh my God.
All of it.
He got paid nothing.
And what he didn't send, I did. So, but
Get out of it. Nothing.
you know that Trump supposedly has 52% support of GOP voters. And the closest one is DeSantis with 24, I think, and then Kristi Noem and a number of others have running around with 1%.
Did you know that
Right.
she rubbed him off with your money?
Yeah.
By the way, I think you're wrong, Phil. I think I saw it as somewhere around 34%.
You had to think about
Well, this was a GOP survey that I saw.
Well,
today.
that's one GOP. Who did it? Rasmussen? Yes,
No,
Tony.
I have to find it.
Tony, yeah, you have to find
This
it.
made me totally stupid. I was thinking about this, right?
It's
The whole
totally
story.
stupid, Tony. If you're saying it, it's totally
Yeah.
stupid.
'Cause maybe you can make this rational to me. You ready? Alex, is $130,000 even a lot of money? She took nothing for hush money. Like, that's not even a lot if you think about it. 130 grand? She should have held out for more money. I mean,
Oh, well,
That's a year's salary for you, Tony.
no, but I mean, if you think about it logically, she couldn't even buy a house in Queens without a condo. I mean, wouldn't you think she would hold out for more money?
you know something. They
She
probably
could move
came.
into your mother's unit.
They probably came to her and started with a lowball number, and then she finally settled on that, saying, "If he's going to give me money, I'll just take the money." You know.
I mean, I never understood that. Like, that doesn't seem like a lot, really, to be quiet.
But you see, the money was used. Money was
Yeah.
used to hush her up during the campaign. That's what the problem is here. That it was used to affect the campaign.
I thought she would try to hold out and get more. Maybe she undersold herself, really, is what I'm saying.
No. I mean, I don't know. What is that? What do you get paid for blowing?
But I'm saying 130 grand. When you told her to hold out, get a little bit more.
I mean, it doesn't. It's not going to taste that bad if you hold your nose. So.
But I mean, I don't mean it as a joke. I was thinking, she can't even buy a condo with that in Florida, probably. I mean, she should have held out to get
Well, I
something
mean,
back.
I wonder how much she could have gotten if she had really
That's what
held
I'm saying.
out.
Could she
Yeah.
have gotten more than that? Is what I'm saying.
What do you guys
What-
think? You think she could have held out for more?
He's a billionaire. I mean,
But no, he's not.
No, he
I
wasn't.
know. I just wanted to say that to get you on a round.
Not when he's got to sell his little souvenir cards or whatever those things were that he was selling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Somebody
Tony, did you buy any of those?
Fungible tokens. That's what they're
Did you
called.
buy any of
I
those?
Somebody said that if you
No,
bought those, that you made a lot of money.
I bought his comic books. Shecky used to laugh. I used to buy the Trump comic books, and whenever I grade them, I used to get over $100 for it. I mean, it's like I got like another 30, 40 copies raw. I'm gonna have to grade them.
I got one. Hey,
Yeah, I gave you one. That
Quinnipiac-
one, I got another one in my room. Hold on, let me get it.
Quinnipiac's got Trump at 46%, and
The Santos is.
Yeah, but
like,
you see, that's right now, Phil.
Yeah.
That's right now, and it's too early to tell. Once everybody, the DeSantis gets out there and starts saying stuff, and other people start saying stuff and everything, and it becomes a open field. I think that the numbers are going to change very as soon as, because some people haven't even heard DeSantis say anything yet.
He told him at least he didn't pay out the stripper.
How much you get? How much you getting for that comic book?
This book, right? It cost me $2.20. So I send it out to CGC to get graded, Alex. And this is a nice guy. So if it comes back in 9.6, I get $100 with my eyes closed from suckers like crazy. It's a ripoff of Kirby's Hulk #1. That's what it is. How much?
Phil's willing to bump that up to $900.
he sent me one, but it wasn't that
did.
one.
No, I got a different. I got all the variant covers. I just whenever they come out. I mean,
The ones he
this is
sent
gonna
you
pay
all
my
that
airfare when I come to visit you guys. I'm gonna sell 3 of
I
these.
mean, how much do you sell those for?
Oh, this one in a CGC when it comes back in 9.6, I can get $100 for it easy.
Wow.
Easy. They're fight over.
And you
it, Alex.
all
They
thought he
love
was stupid for collecting those comic books, didn't you?
Even Shecky used to say, Alex, are they that dumb? I said, yeah, he couldn't believe it. I couldn't. Every time I saw one, I used to laugh when I used to pack it up.
I told Tony, I said, when you die, you know what they're going to do with all those comic books? There's going to be a dumpster out in front, and they're all going to get dumped in there. They'll wind up in the landfill.
I
Just like
know.
all the junk we collect.
No, I'll bet you.
I have a list of
I'll
stuff.
bet you. Just my estimation. I'm not going to ask him here, but I imagine Tony's worth more than you are.
Oh, absolutely.
What's that?
Hey, there's a guy on the at the intersection where you stop at the light. He says he's homeless. He's worth more than me.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure that Tony has probably made pretty good change on these comic books.
Yeah, I have so much stuff down there. It's like crazy. I have a lot. I don't mean I just have so much stuff. Yeah, it's a lot.
What happens if the house burns down?
Oh, forget. Well, it's insured, but you'll never get what it's. My sister's like, I don't know what to do with all this.
Wait a
You
minute.
can't.
You insured it.
Yeah, I insured it. Yeah.
How
I
much
have it.
is
It took
how
me a
much?
while on a
How much are
spreadsheet.
all your comic books then insured for?
I couldn't even tell you.
No, but how
Alex.
much did you insure them for?
Oh, over 250,000.
Oh,
So
you have more than
Tony,
that.
And that's just going low. I mean, that's like really.
How stupid is he? Okay, come on.
if you could
I didn't
sell
pay
one of
more than
those,
$35. No, I paid $400 for my most expensive book.
hey, if you can sell that Trump thing for $100 with CDC grading, how much
CDC.
does it cost to get graded by
To
CDC?
get graded, it cost me, since I'm a dealer, it'll cost me $16 to grade it.
$16
So I'm in for like $20, and then I'll be out for a minimum of 100, easy.
Wow.
Maybe more.
I'm in the wrong business. Jeez. You know?
You know what it is? And sometimes I think about things. I think what it comes down to is, and I don't want to get Phil mad, but I really think Trump is such a cult of personality, is that the media really did make him more than what he really should be.
Well,
about Trump or Phil?
he's always been very good at playing the media.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
even when he
very
wasn't
sad.
running for political office, when he was just he was doing The Apprentice and so on. I mean, he knew how to get the
He promised
I mean,
to
he's
put
not as
Stormy
dumb as we
Daniels
think,
on
I
The
don't
Apprentice.
What'd you say?
He promised to put Stormy Daniels on The Apprentice and didn't do it.
He was supposed to put her on there, wasn't he? Yeah.
Was he?
And didn't do it.
Well, he interviewed her on the couch.
Yeah.
Phil, did you send him money in Trump or no?
Of
I
course
sent
he did.
money to Trump in the
Oh, you
2016
did.
election.
Not a lot, though.
and I sent some when he was running in 2020.
You told
Not
me
as
you
much
sent
as
some for his
2016.
legal defense just now.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. And I like that they call Michael Cohen the fixer. They all have like little monikers, like it's like
Well, I
New
think
York
Trump.
Rangers,
I think
the
Trump
Fixer.
called them that.
Yeah.
I think Trump named him.
Well,
the Fixer.
Trump had the nerve to call him a criminal the other day, saying, "Oh, he's a convicted criminal." You know what he was
He's a
convicted
lawyer.
of? Doing stuff for Trump.
Yeah,
he got
doing-
convicted doing
No,
stuff
no,
for
no.
Trump.
This
Fight
guy,
for you.
this guy did a con with taxi medallions.
Really?
But
Yeah,
that wasn't what he was charged with, Phil.
No, he did some sort of.
He
taxi-
charged.
Oh, was that Michael Avenatti or was that?
No, he
Cohen?
was charged. Cohen was charged, if I remember correctly,
Yeah.
with lying to investigators or to the FBI or whatever. Am I right about that, people? I think
I
that's
gotta
what it
look at it.
was.
Was that to do with taxi
I think they did
medallions?
have something.
No, it had to do with the
It could- it
Trump,
was
the
perjury on
Stormy
someone.
Daniels situation, that he
Yeah.
initially lied to them.
What's to say he's not lying now?
Well, I mean,
What's to
Just
say
telling
he
you what
hasn't
they wanna
decided
hear.
to fess up?
Ah.
He has no reason to lie now. He's not getting anything out of it. They're not saying we're letting you out of jail because you're telling you're fessing up here. He's not. He's already spent his time, and he's
Didn't they let him out of jail because of COVID?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
they let
did.
him out. You come
They
out.
did.
Really? They did?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why? He came here.
Because,
to
no,
COVID?
because they let a lot of people out of jail when COVID happened because they felt that they didn't want to hold them in prison and have them get COVID.
I thought maybe you want to pack Slovin. Imagine,
Yeah,
take it.
but I mean, he was not charged with anything else but doing Trump's bidding basically and being loyal to Trump. And then when it was over and done with, Trump wasn't loyal to him.
He's not loyal to anybody.
He's not loyal to anybody. He's a
He's
creep.
only loyal. You know how you're going to get Trump, I think? You got to get to his kids. You got to get to the inner circle.
Got to get to the
And I
kids.
think
He
if
doesn't
you get
even.
to the daughter
He
or the
doesn't
one of
even
those-
like his.
He'll let the sons go to jail, but that's the daughter that he'll protect, I think.
Yep.
He doesn't like his own kids for crying.
No, he likes the daughter, though, Alex.
Well, in a kind
He
of
really likes.
really.
Well, that's a little odd, too. Yeah. Phil, that's a little strange. My mother used to be like, my mother hated his guts, Phil. And Alex,
Yeah.
She couldn't believe he won. When he won, she couldn't. I never forget her face sitting on the couch like, what's going on here?
I remember the
My
night.
mother wasn't the brightest bulb either. God
I
rest
remember
her
the
soul.
night he won the first time, and he didn't win the second time. However, so why am I saying the first time?
Yeah.
The night he won, I woke up Marjorie and she. We went in the bedroom. Marjorie woke up and says, "What's happening with the election?" Blah blah blah. And I said, "Trump won." She said, "You're kidding me." She thought I was joking with her.
My mother was.
That's what Trump thought.
Yeah.
When after he won, he didn't believe he was
He
going
knew- I think you're right.
I don't think he intended to win. I think he intended to take the money that he had raised for the campaign and put it in his own pocket and go home.
I think the publicity that he would have gotten by losing would have helped him with his career on TV.
Yep.
Well, what career on TV? You know, he wants everybody to think he was so goddamn successful with the Apprentice. That series was only in the top 10 shows.
Yes,
the
but it
first.
got eclipsed
Wait a minute.
by-
Hold on a second. The first year. After that, for the next 5-6 years, it wasn't even in the top 10.
That's because he eclipsed it with Celebrity Apprentice.
No. I'm talking about all the apprentices.
I'm looking here. Michael Cohen was $22 million in debt because of his taxi medallion deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but that wasn't the reason he got.
And you know what he used to do?
Investigation.
You don't get busted for losing money. You know? If you get busted for losing money, you're a real
You're
douche.
fired. That was his moniker, right? When he was in The Apprentice.
What?
And I remember I watched it a few times. When in the Apprentice, they used to come into his office. He used to go, "You're fired." He used to love saying that, like you're letting the people go.
Yeah, but
you know that those taxi
like it's severance pay. That's what they should have said.
At one point were worth $1.2 million.
Yeah, what happened was here's in case people don't know what we're talking about. In New York City, if you were a taxi, you had to have what was called a taxi medallion, and that medallion was on the hood of your taxi. And those medallions allowed you to be able to drive your cab in New York City. It was like a cab license. Well, they, after years and years and years, because they would only put out a certain amount of them, they got to be worth like $1.5 million. You know what they're going for now? Like $10,000 or some ridiculously cheap amount, because the cabs aren't doing that well. You know?
And they're saying because of Lyft and Uber. They've gone down because of Lyft and Uber.
I think Alex just said that.
I just said that.
Oh,
but you weren't listening to me.
I was talking over you.
Yeah,
but so he was in debt for $22 million, and I think there was some sort of fraud over it. But
it doesn't matter. He didn't get busted for that, Phil.
Yeah, Cohen pleaded guilty to tax fraud and campaign finance violations.
Yep,
as well as lying to Congress.
Yeah, which would be, I think, lying to like detectives and FBI and so on. Lying to Congress, yeah, that too. Yeah. I mean, you know, but he was doing it all in the service of Donald Trump and being loyal to him and trying to save Trump's ass. And then did Trump turn around and do anything to get him off the hook? You know, at that time, no. So if he went out after against Trump, he went out after Trump for a very simple reason. Trump wasn't loyal to him. Why should he be loyal to Trump?
Now, Trump pardoned guys like Roger Stone and a number of other people that stayed loyal to him. If Michael Cohen would have stayed loyal, I think he probably would have gotten pardoned.
I don't know if that's true necessarily. I think if he felt that was true, he would have just stayed the course and not done anything, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, you're talking about somebody there who is not a good friend, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You talking about
got a golf course?
Lawyer.
What do you mean he's got a golf course? How's that a follow-up to me saying he's not a good friend? He's got a golf course.
Well, yeah, it's
that he cheats at.
Well, you know, if Marjorie dies, I want to be friends with Trump because if Marjorie dies, I have a place to bury her.
In New Jersey.
Yeah, yeah.
So does he get special tax write-offs because of his graveyard?
I think so.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe Tony should start visiting there.
Right, bring my mother over to Jersey.
Tony the Undertaker.
Yeah. You didn't even have to put up a tombstone there, did you? On her grave.
Oh no, because we buried my dad first. We had to buy the So we just put it
how smart he was.
Did you ask him if he wanted to be buried with her?
Well, that's another story. My father wasn't expecting her so soon. He's probably coming to my dreams later. Just enjoy her for a while. She's coming. He's probably
you have to buy the letters. You have to buy the letters.
He's like, I'm never gonna live this down.
Yeah.
You have to buy the letters.
No, they just chisel it in there.
Just chisel, yeah. He's probably saying, "Oh, Nancy's here already. I'll kill him when you come up here."
Yeah,
A friend of mine and Alan's donated a Torah to a Chabad, and they made the Torah. It took a year to scribe it, and the last day when they were presenting it, I was able to make a donation, and the scribe had me write one letter in that Torah. And so I had to pay by the letter. It was $18 a letter. And then they send you a certificate.
You gave him $18? Wow, that was generous.
Well, maybe it was
the
more.
The Torah only cost like $75,000.
Yeah.
But I know how much everybody here would like to see Trump in handcuffs. I think even Phil would enjoy it.
Hey, I came prepared.
What do you got?
You're not going to pull out your pink handcuffs again.
No, those are yours. I came prepared.
I'm going to visit these guys.
Why don't you put those on your...
By the way, let me ask you a question about that, since you two guys are cops.
Yeah.
He was more of a cop than you were.
No, not really. I did it a lot longer than he did. He got taken out by a fence.
Really?
What happened? What do you mean you got taken?
Alan got taken out by
a guy who was trying to sell jewelry illegally. You got taken out by
picket fence.
What you
It
call it?
wasn't a picket fence. It was a yard fence. I was doing buy sell for narcotics, and the guy bought the drugs from me, and then he said, "You know, you shorted me last time," and he spit in my face, and so we went running after him.
Oh my
And one
God.
of the other local agencies had a canine, and we went over a fence, and not the canine, but the bad guy and he cleared somebody had a load of pallets in their backyard. He jumped past it. I didn't, and blew out my knee. But
Oh.
the dog got a hold of his testicles.
Oh,
A
Jesus.
minutes later. So,
Well, you should actually consider yourself, home free
except
on
for
that
at
one.
least I wasn't just a rent-a-cop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, my question is, handcuffs all have keys, right?
Yeah.
They're
I
all
got
the
a-
same. They're all the same key, aren't they?
No.
Depends on the brand.
Really?
Yeah, this is a Safariland key.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah. And this is an upgraded key. It's a little bit longer. You know, most of the keys are very short and hard to
Yeah,
use.
Phil had to get it to make up for the size of his penis.
Yeah. Yeah, you've been coveting it, huh? So anyway, these were my handcuffs when I was capturing bad guys.
You notice they look brand new.
Yeah,
Never been used.
yeah, but they got it.
What brand are they?
That's a good question.
Imagine if they made in China.
Remember.
By the way, this guy, what was this guy in where was it, South Carolina or someplace that killed
Murdoch?
Murdoch killed his wife and his kid. Now they're going after his son.
Oh, the son killed somebody too, I think, right? My sister told
Well,
me.
they're saying they're looking
the
into
son
it.
was in a
Family,
relationship with this.
Doesn't anybody get out? I mean,
Oh,
really.
the Smith kid?
But Buster is his name.
Yeah.
And there was a kid who got run over. He got it was
His name was
hit and
Smith.
run. It was a hit and run, yes, Smith, and it was a hit and run. And the family is now claiming that he was killed by Buster because they were in a relationship together.
Imagine having a name like Buster.
That's his real name.
Yeah. So anyway, so if he
put
goes
the
to jail,
stigma.
maybe he and Dad can just hang out together.
I mean, really? Yeah, Dad, that family's crazy.
Why didn't the dad kill him too?
You get a chance, probably.
Why did Buster end up living and the other ones
Ran
died?
out of bullets?
Can you imagine Friday night dinners in that house?
What?
Can you imagine Friday night dinners with the father and the son? What are you going to do this weekend? They're going to kill that person. Well, you know what? I think I might kill this person.
Yeah.
I'll see you Sunday.
Can I borrow your gun, Dad? Yeah.
Can happen after later. I mean, it's
Tony the
insanity.
Undertaker.
People got to be locked up. They just can't be walking the streets.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
They do in
A
the
lot-
Alex, which president closed all the mental hospitals?
I'm-
Was that
I'm
Reagan?
Reagan.
That was Reagan.
Reagan did a great job with that.
With
To let him roam the streets, really.
Yeah, right. That was a good move on his part.
That's a really small move. Well, buck crime and the maniacs who run up. That's a stupid thing to do.
It was probably the ACLU.
You know what I finally figured out? California, really, I said this the other day, has become outright biblical. I mean, everything that's happening to it is all the stuff you used to read about as plagues in the Bible.
Well, San Francisco's getting bad weather again, I heard, guys.
Did you hear
we-
that the San Francisco
Yeah.
got part of a tornado?
When do they ever get
Los
that?
Angeles.
Well, Los Angeles did, but San Francisco did too.
Oh,
We're
really?
having some sort of storm that what do they call this storm?
It's called a
something bomb cyclone.
cyclone bomb. Yeah.
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 It's raining a lot.
Have Trump to go on a board and draw the direction the
Oh, yeah,
tornado.
really,
There are areas around here that are getting like 100-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah, well, they're down in L.A.
Yeah.
You know, they
There's
got
a picture on the news
they got
of
a
the,
tornado.
tornado.
Oh, keep crime down. Bad guys don't want to get wet.
You're right. They don't want to come out. It's raining out.
Does crime go down when that happens?
You would
I would
think that,
imagine.
you know.
We have the worst mayor here that I think we've ever had, and we've had some pretty horrible mayors. But this guy is like, he's always doing press conferences for public things. Like, you know, he likes to go to the Met Gala. You know, that's his idea of being a mayor.
So did AOC.
Yeah.
Yeah, she went, you know,
Yeah.
but that isn't the only thing she does, okay? Anyway, they've just come up with a new thing. And it's very funny. Al Franken's been doing the Daily Show, and he mentioned this. They've come up with a new thing, and he came out for it, the mayor, and also Kathy Hochul, who's our idiot governor as well. Yeah. They came out with a new slogan for New York. Remember, it was "I love New York."
Oh yeah, I love New York.
Big Apple.
Yeah. Well, they've changed it. I wonder when the meeting for this one was held.
Oh no,
They've changed it to "We love New York."
Who's we?
And I think it was Franken who said it's "we" as in we can't afford the rent here.
You remember that guy that was running either for mayor or president from New York, and on
or
a
as we,
platform?
as in we just pushed you in the path of a train.
Yeah.
You know?
No, there was a guy running for mayor of New York the last time, not this time, but the last time, and his platform was "the rent's too damn high."
Well, he was, you know, but he was the rent's too damn high party.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta love a guy like that.
Well, you know, I mean, rent is too damn high. I mean, rents in New York are ridiculous. I mean, I watch this guy. His name is Cash Jordan, I think is his name, and he has a thing on YouTube. If you ever get a chance, you should watch him. To begin with, he's very funny. And he goes to apartments that are up for rent, and then he does videos of them, right? And I'm looking at him, and Marjorie and I trying to figure out how much you think this one's worth, you know? Really? And I mean, in a one-bedroom apartment, $4,000.
Is that like that guy in New York that asks people, "What do you pay for rent?" And then they tell him, and then he says, "Can I take a tour of your apartment?" And then he goes up and he videotapes, and they tell him how much they pay. Barbara Corcoran was on his thing, you know.
But this guy is he is a real estate broker, I think, is one of the things he does. But it is very interesting, the places that he goes to. And no, he usually deals with other realtors who take him to a particular place, or he gets the keys to a particular place. And to begin with, he talks about the neighborhood, and he's very funny. And it's not forced funny. It's actual, really funny. And his name is Cash Jordan. Look him up on YouTube. Very funny stuff. And the prices that people are paying for apartments in New York, 2-bedroom, $7,000.
How about 10 room for 500?
Well, I've heard of that one.
Yeah.
But we're still having trouble trying to get them, the landlords, to list us with the DHCR, which is the place you list rents and who's renting the place, to list us as the renter and to list the rental price as the $500.07. And we're just playing hell getting them to do that, so I don't know. It just
can you get the court to force him to do that?
Well, I think we can actually, because the court, number one, said that's what the rent should be. Okay, that was the court determination, and then they appealed it to the appeals court, and the appeals court said your appeal's not going through; it goes back to the original court. Okay, so they've got no other place to go. Once you've appealed it, you have a few little things you could do, but it wouldn't work. Okay. Yeah. So I mean they're out of options pretty much, and I kept saying to I wrote my lawyer and I said, these guys are like Trump. They're afraid. They can't stand to admit they lost. And they really haven't been able to say they lost. Well, let's check in with T-shirts tonight. And, of course, there's only one T-shirt that ever matters. English. Wait, stand
English
up.
is important.
but math
Is important.
important.
Do you go out in public with those?
Yes, I was at the grocery store today with it.
Do people comment on them?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're very
Oh,
good
look,
at it.
Jeff's got
Einstein.
What is
Albert
it?
Einstein.
Albert Einstein. It's a good,
Nice
nice
guy.
cartoon
Looks
of
like Phil
Einstein.
with
I wore
hair.
that on March 14th.
Do you know who said I look like Albert Einstein?
high and tight, like Linscomb. The baseball player.
Oh, okay.
I am type.
Do you know who said that I look like what do you say I look like? I look like Einstein?
Did you have bushy hair?
No, I must have had bushy hair at the time. I must have had hair at the time. But he said I look like Einstein. I looked myself in the mirror and I went, "Oh, young Einstein." He said, "Young Einstein." And I looked at
What did
myself in
young
the mirror
Einstein
and I
look
couldn't see it. I just couldn't see it. I was told that by Marcel Marceau.
He was very vocal.
Yes, he was. He was. I did an interview with him. Everybody goes, "Gee, you got him to talk?" Yeah, of course.
That's right.
You know
We just had an earthquake.
what?
Yeah,
Just
I
now?
didn't feel it.
No, about 3-4 minutes ago.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Watch.
Was it good
Uh,
for you?
what,
Big
uh,
watch.
3.4 was a little one.
I don't feel anything under a 5.
Yeah, well,
Neither
Right,
does your
me.
girlfriend.
Oh.
Ba-dum-boom.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do? After 5, they're too old for me anyway.
You know, we've met.
Phil has a line. 8 is too late.
We've met. Brian's wife. We have on one occasion seen Kevin's wife.
Yeah.
We've of course seen Jeff's wife, but we've never seen your live-in mate, and I'm
Oh.
beginning to think there isn't one.
No, probably not. Let me see
It's
if
his hand.
yeah, really.
he's looking up a picture on the net now. He's going to tell her that's a.
Yeah, well, yeah.
No, don't give us Stormy Daniels either, just because you paid for her.
Yeah, really.
He paid for the legal defense.
Yeah.
Send Swatch.
Faye doesn't like to. Let's see if I can find a picture of Faye. And,
Don't make sure it isn't one that's as old as the one you showed me last week.
this one's about 10 years old. Here we go.
You were thin. Yeah, let's see. Where is it?
Right there.
You see
Well,
it?
it's hard to see. Some old guy with gray hair is overpowering the photo.
Hey,
There she is.
There she is.
Yeah, and he took the photo.
And
too,
you've been
I'm sure.
together how long?
17 years.
Really?
Yeah.
That's longer than you were married, I think.
I was married 23.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, son of a bitch. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
But I knew better to get married again.
Then to get married again.
Yeah, I've been there once. I'm not going back to that.
Well, wait a minute. Now, has Faye ever said to you, "I really would like it if we got married"?
Well, she said no sex without marriage now. That's not a problem. since I had the operation,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have been any sex with marriage.
Yeah.
You're talking about when you were a baby, the circumcision, that operation.
No. Prostatectomy.
Well, he didn't
Then
get
the
he
radiation.
didn't get circumcised. That would have made it smaller.
Now, you know why they do that to Jews? Because it's like trimming a tree. What you do is you trim it a little bit and it grows more.
Mhm.
That's how
Remember the
they
Seinfeld
do
with the Moyle? That was
Well,
a
I'm
funny-
glad they got me drunk. And
That was the last time you were drunk.
Well, I mean, I wonder how that affects Jewish males. I mean, emotionally, one of the first things that happens when they're alive, somebody comes along and nips the end of your penis off
Gotta be like,
With no anesthesia.
with no anesthesia.
No,
I cried in the
they rub booze on it.
No, what they do is they don't rub booze on it.
That's true.
What they do is they rub booze in you. They actually take a rag, dip it in wine,
really?
and then have the baby suck on it for a while, and he gets a little drunk, or shicker, as we call it in Yiddish.
Right.
And he gets then they do the little whack-a-mole, Yeah.
I can honestly say I don't remember a thing about it. I just saw the results.
I don't
That's
remember.
because they couldn't find any wine when you were done, so they got an old grease rag and put it
Listen,
in your
there's
mouth.
certain things we never remember. We don't remember being born, do you?
No.
No.
You know?
My earliest recollections go back to maybe when I was almost 2.
Mine go back to about 4, I think.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I remember being sick with the measles at 5. That's
I
about my.
remember getting chicken pox. I remember.
I remember when we moved from Queens to just north of Peekskill, and that was 1956. I was 2, and I remember crawling in a moving box and tipping it over.
They were trying to get rid of you.
And one other thing, I remember I had a turtle, and it was in the kitchen of the apartment in Sunnyside, Queens.
Well, I remember almost drowning.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Up near Russian River. Yeah.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Did your parents push you under, or did they just let you naturally go into the?
No,
into
I just went in the water, and all I remember, to this day, I remember I felt bubbles all over my face.
Yeah.
And then Michael Jackson came along and got the chimp off of my face.
How many times did your mother push you under?
I'm killing it tonight, folks. I'm killing it tonight.
You know what I was gonna say?
They're all weak.
What?
You know what I was gonna say? You know what I wish we had? I told this to my sister. I wish I
More?
had more home movies, even if it didn't have sound, because now I don't remember what certain people's voices sound like.
Oh.
I wish they would have did a little more home movies.
I know what you mean. My friend Barry was always walking around with one of those reel-to-reel tape recorders, those small ones, and he said that he had a recording of my father, but he couldn't find it, and I didn't have any recordings.
I thought you wiped your hand with your rear and then handed him the tape.
Yeah. Those things would have been pretty neat. I mean,
that would have been neat. Are you talking about the little cassette tapes?
No, the before cassettes, they were like reel to reel, but they were maybe 2.
I remember my aunt having it. It looked like a little
diameter.
projector light, but they didn't have sound. I remember her having it.
Yeah.
As an 8 millimeter.
What good does a reel to reel do you if it has no sound?
I know, but they
This
were
was sound. This
Well,
was
it
only
shows
sound.
you the pictures anyway. What do you mean? What good is it?
Well, when Phil was, the only recollection they have of Phil are cave drawings. So
In France.
2 hairs.
Let's go.
that's how they get them in those days. Pretty good, Phil. Yeah. Well, it's kind of wrapping it up here. I mean, it's been a nice night tonight. Good having you all here. I mean, we're not going to get any more views to this show than we're getting for 8 minutes with Marjorie and Alex on Facebook.
Hey, that was nice.
Huh? You like the one today?
Yeah.
Yeah, we wind up tongue kissing each other on every episode just to make people want to vomit.
That'll get demonetized.
Probably it should be. It should be. Phil has been with us tonight, folks. Let's all give Phil a big round of applause. Thank you, Phil, for. It's really
that was another joke, right?
It
was a pleasure.
That was not that enthusiastic on their part.
Now the sound of one hand clapping.
Yes. And also a big thanks to Alan for being here.
How big?
Kevin, always wonderful having you here. And Charlie, keep them T-shirts coming.
Yeah.
Wayne, say something to us, Wayne. Your microphone sounds so good.
It's a cheap Logitech headset. Probably
Really?
paid less than, probably $15-20. That's about it.
He got the microphone next to his mouth.
But I got the mic right here.
Yeah, it's really good. And thank you, Brian Neary. Always nice. And Tony, keep being stupid with those comic books, okay? And then you can take me out to lunch someday.
Look, tell me you're on. I'll take you.
Jeff, you've been pretty quiet tonight, but it's been terrific. So I enjoy having you all here. Why don't you all give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye at you, and we'll call it quits for now. There they go, ladies and gentlemen. That's our citizen panel. Jack Bishop is next with The Intersection. You can call him on Skype at GabNet Live. Yes, GabNet Live. And we'll see you again tomorrow night. Same time, same station in life. In the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Good night, everybody.